and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Classy Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezi nkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana. 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Yo, what's good? Y'all listening to Share Radio, where we give you nice shows with a little bit of go in it, and where we promote upcoming artists, music, and more. If you want to share the experience with us or want us to promote your music, go to www.shareonline.co.za or WhatsApp us on 061 524 7758.
Welcome to Sport Spotlight, because that's where we spot the light. Guess what? It's obvious that the light was spotted by Share Online.
You are now watching the Sports Spotlight, where you get all your sports coverage, updates, and news. Get ready for more Playground Show with the great interviews with your sports idols. Don't forget to tune in. We are Share Online on every social media platforms. Let the games begin.
Indeed, it's another wonderful day where we say it is a Sportslight show where we bring you each and every update and anything that is happening on the sports field, whether it's on site, whether it's on field and off field. We've got you covered. My name is Moeketsi Maimane, and once again, you're watching the Sportslight, and I'm also not alone. I'm with the one and only top lady who I'm going to give a moment right now to introduce himself. My G.
How are you, man?
Man, I am so stoked up, man. I'm stoked up.
Before we get into that question, so I go by the name of Atoplay, the producer, right here on Share Online, go Spotlight. And today, Wednesday, Nyazuguti, no maranjan is Kulmangente one Wednesday, I Kenya, but only Paula or anything that you know under sports. This is your show to watch. And Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are Share Online.
Indeed. We are Share Online. Comment down below and sit with us as we are going to have these wonderful, updates that we want to discuss with you. If you're watching right now, do make sure that you stay tuned, until, the end of the show. We are hoping that you guys are going to engage with us more, so that we can also hear the side of your, the story, the side of your story, basically in what we're going to be discussing, because a lot has been happening in the past week. We saw people losing, people winning 4-0 and then coming back and losing. Another one, which was the biggest derby, which is known as the El Clasico, drama unfolding in that a lot of goals, the youngsters are coming into the spotlight and shining their shine that they have been giving. So that is what basically we're going to be discussing. So as Arthur said, do make sure that you stay with us on our social media platform. So on our headlines, obviously we're going to be looking at the English Premier League results, as we know that there is one coach that has been sacked, from the big team that we all know around. It's something that we're going to be discussing and look at the factors of what really pushes management to, sack the coach. We want to hear from you. What do you think are the push and pull factors? Are the players responsible for the coaches, being sacked? Or are the coaches, responsible for everything that is happening when it comes to the players. And we're also going to be looking at the Betway Premiership, in which, drama also unfolded there, where we saw, games like SuperSport and Kaizer Chiefs, playing it out. It's very important to hear what some of you have to say, and also, the words of Mr. Gavin Hunt from the past game. So we'll be looking at those results. And for today, also, we're going to be looking at the La Liga results. As you know, from the past week, we saw the El Clasico playing it out. And Real Madrid lost 4-0 to Barcelona, which is something that we're going to be speaking about. And second last, we're going to be speaking about, not second last, Kaizer Chiefs, they are set to replace a new star player. If you want to find out who's that star player, stay with us until the end of the show, until we get to discuss this headline with you. And also, Chiefs, they regret letting Ditejani. So a lot of things are unfolding in Naturena and at Kaizer Chiefs. So we have to find out what is going on and what is it that they can do. And also, on Monday, we saw the Ballon d'Or. Man City's boss aims subtle dig at Vinicius, which is Pep Guardiola. We saw that there were a little bit of controversies on what was happening, due to Real Madrid not attending the event, Vini Jr. not winning. So we're going to be here with you discussing all of those things. So do make sure that you stay with us as we're going to be unpacking some of the things that we didn't know when it comes to what does it take for someone to win, the Ballon d'Or. Guti Ballon d'Or is a very, very precious what can I call achievement? Yeah. Do you know the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever wished of winning the Ballon d'Or?
For hosting this show.
Indeed.
Ballon d'Or for hosting this show. Otherwise,
indeed, man. Yeah, I'm fair too. And then lastly, when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, we're going to be looking like how Rodri beat Vinicius Jr., to win the Ballon d'Or, because it's all about the stats. What are we looking at, man? Like Rodri out of nowhere winning the Ballon d'Or, while we saw Vini Jr. each and every season, his name being praised in each and every game and each and every competition, Europe competition, international competition. His name was being hailed, but he never got the Ballon d'Or. It's something that we need to be speaking about in terms of stats, because when it comes to stats, stats ayashintshe.
Yeah.
Phela now they even look at, your mannerism. Ukuthi are you swearing at players? Are you swearing at the referees? If Minanawe, when they look at head to head, okay, we've got the same goals, we've got the same assists, we've got the same tackles. When they see that all of those things ziyalingana, let us look at something that is outside, in which we can't, really get a draw from that one.
Yeah.
We can't really get people going and saying, in terms of mannerism, they're the same, just different. Players have different mannerism and how they actually, behave in the football field. So please do make sure to stay with us as we're going to be, discussing those headlines with you and looking at the scores from the past week. You're watching Sports Light Show with me, Moeketsi Maimane, and the one and only Top Blade right here. Share Radio brought to you by Share Online. If you also want to call us in or send your voice note, in the headlines that we'll be discussing, do make sure to do that on the number 061-524-7758. It's 061-524-7758. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Do make sure that you join our lives and you comment down below and tell us what do you really think, and what is your view, because we have different views. We have the Sportslight view. We need the people's views, because this show, it's all about inviting people and discussing several views and points of discussion that we saw from the past week, from the games that have played. So right now, let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we're getting deeper into the Sportslight and see what is it that has lit up your week.
you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana. 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Yo, what's good? Y'all listening to Share Radio, where we give you nice shows with a little bit of go in it, and where we promote upcoming artists, music, and more. If you want to share the experience with us or want us to promote your music, go to www.shareonline.co.za or WhatsApp us on 061 524 7758.
Welcome to Sport Spotlight, because that's where we spot the light. Guess what? It's obvious that the light was spotted by Share Online.
You are now watching the Sports Spotlight, where you get all your sports coverage, updates, and news. Get ready for more playground show with the great interviews with your sports idols. Don't forget to tune in. We are Share Online on every social media platforms. Let the games begin.
Indeed, let the games begin. I welcome you back to the one and only favorite show that has to speak about sport, the Sportslight Show. My name is Moeketsi Maimane, and I am not alone. Of course, I am with the one and only Blade here with me on the studio. If you want to contact us and engage with us, do make sure to join us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. So leave down your comment down below if you are watching from YouTube and watching from Facebook. We would really like to invite you and start the show with us on a greater note. So please do make sure to stay with us. Our number to call is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758. So before the break, we said we're going to be, going through the scores that happened if you missed the games of the English Premier League. So on Saturday, on the 26th of October, we had Brighton playing against the Wolves, which they played a 2-2 draw. And then Brentford played against Ipswich. Brentford won 4-3. And then on Saturday, again, Aston Villa played Bournemouth, in which they played a 1-1 draw. And then Manchester City knocked horns with Southampton, in which they played. Man City won 1-0. And then the last game of Saturday, we saw Everton knocking horns with Fulham, playing a 1-1 draw. And then Sunday, we saw Chelsea playing against Newcastle, and Chelsea winning by 2-1. And Crystal Palace playing against Tottenham. Crystal Palace won 1-0. And then on Sunday, we saw Liverpool playing against Arsenal, which is the Super Sunday. Arsenal and Liverpool, they played a 2-2 draw. And of course, our main highlight for today is Man United playing against West Ham. And West Ham won 2-1 against Manchester United. Yeah, boy. So, did you hear the bad news for Man U?
No, I didn't hear any bad news because this weekend it needed to focus to all these games. Because one mistake, low but I didn't hear any news. What happened?
Yeah, so after 85 games being part of Manchester United, Mr. Erik ten Hag has been sacked. Coach of Manchester United, he has been sacked, and the question is why Manchester United ended, the Dutchman reign. So as Erik ten Hag has been sacked following a dismal start to the season, the 53-year-old survived an internal review in the summer by new football leadership group, the Ineos, but he oversaw United's worst ever start to a Premier League season, and he failed to win their opening 3 Europa League games. So the season of 2024-2025 sees Erik ten Hag playing 9 games, winning 3, drawing 2, and he lost 4 games. And then on Sunday, after a devastating 2-1 defeat to West Ham on Sunday, United ended the weekend in a 14th place with just 3 wins from 9 games. And Ten Hag has paid the price, with United confirming his departure in a statement that's saying Erik ten Hag has left his role as Manchester United's men's first team manager. Erik was appointed in April 2022 and led the club to 2 domestic trophies, winning the Carabao Cup in 2023 and the FA Cup in 2024. We are grateful to Erik for everything he has done during his time with us and wish him well for the future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge of the team as interim coach, supported by the current coaching team, whilst the permanent head coach is recruited. I mean, I want us to discuss, man, even when you are watching right now, and you are a fan of any sports. Tennis, you are netball. Well, if you are a tennis player, okay, tennis, you do have a coach, and you are the one who decide, coach, you're not doing enough. Please leave me alone with my rackets. Yeah, so I just want us to talk about the importance of, finding a distinguish between players and the coach. If players are not performing, are we blaming the coach?
Okay, sometimes it depends. If it happens, the team is losing and people are blaming the coach.
Yeah.
There's a reason sometimes why it's like that, because if a coach aga interact kahle nama player wakhe,
yeah,
that will cause ukuthi vele ama player anga perform the way afuna ngakhona, because there's no interlink between bona bonke.
Yeah.
So a coach, there has to be some way ayenza ngayo ukuthi bayalinka ngento eyi-1, bavumelana ngento eyi-1 in most cases.
Yeah.
Because sometimes kuyayenza ukuthi coach ufuna, let's say ufuna 4-4-3, ama player afuna 4-4-2, because that's 4-4-2 bona bayibona ukuthi okay, thina siyakhona ukudlala nge4-4-2 and siyawina. But because if wena ufuna 4-3-3, we don't have a choice, i-team yakho, and njengoba sila, we are hired by you, so we can't decide thina. So I think it's very important sometimes ukuthi kube ne relationship right between the coach and the player, so that ukuthi team nayo ibe healthy, because it's not about ukuthi team is lali baller then done.
Yeah.
But there's more than that. So I think it's very important to make sure ukuthi ama player no coach bayalinka ngento eyi-1.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of linking, because you would get people like about Ten Hag, always coming up and, telling media that, what, man, in terms of making sure that the structure stays, because United has this culture of bringing trophies back into Old Trafford. And we are not seeing that since, when we talk about the English Premier League, they haven't won it, I don't know, for the past how many seasons. The last time they won it, I think it was around 2015, 2014, around there. So the reign has stopped, and everything has changed due to, this ongoing thing about who, has to be the CEO and the new management level that will push the team into greater heights. It's still a question till today, because we still have the owner of Ineos, wanting to be part of the team so that they can take the ruleship from the Glazers. Yeah, so it's a lot, because you will hear abantu abafana nabo Cristiano Ronaldo doing interviews and saying a lot needs to change on Manchester United. They just need to change everything. They need to start from scratch. So a lot is happening. So when you look at Erik ten Hag, Premier League troubles in 2024, while he may feel aggrieved at being relieved of his duties at Old Trafford so early into the new season, when we take a look at Man United's form over the course of 2024, it begins to underline exactly why the club felt obliged to act so soon. The Dutch manager would undoubtedly point to his FA Cup success as signs of improvement, but his team's form in the Premier League over the course of 2024 was well below par and considerably off the pace set by many historical rivals in the English top flight. I mean, the points that Man United have won, it's only 40 points out of 27 games in 2024 when you count, all of the games, So it's something that Man United has never seen, in the course of what has been happening. Yeah, but we would really like to hear from you guys in terms of, if you are a Man U fan, please comment down below and tell us, what do you really think about Erik ten Hag being sacked? I mean, does he deserve a chance? Did he deserve, some time, to be on the team to work out on the improvements that he mentions that, since we won the FA Cup last season, there is improvements. So Radzelani is saying, Hola my gents, I want to hear more about the Ballon d'Or. You would hear about the Ballon d'Or if you stay with us until the end of this show. And then on Facebook I have Urevila Rasa Khanso saying, Jackson is becoming lovely footballer and a good finish from Palma. I mean, speaking about, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see, teams like about Chelsea performing very well in the league and making sure that the performance, is taken away by them growing, actually. Yeah, so more needs to happen. But we're still on this one of, the differentiation of the coach's management and the players putting their work in the field. Because as you mentioned, Uguti, when coach wants this, they want different things. Just going, it is a problem.
Yeah.
It is a problem. And in that way, there is no unity and chemistry among the players.
Yeah.
Because as players do speak, kuma changing room, I coach I come and we have seen in terms of sabotaging, there are players who sabotage a coach. They sabotage a coach in terms of making sure Uguti, we want him out. And they will perform very bad.
Because one thing, before you continue, one thing about a team name. Ukuba no coach doesn't mean Uguti a coach who you run a team. Yes, we are a runner in terms of managing and whatsoever.
Yeah.
But in terms of playing and making sure Uguti team ya win, it's all in the players. Uguti the match less ya win no makanjani.
Yeah.
Yiba decide Uguti okay, even though good difficult for ball grounding, but they make sure Uguti I figure to that point ukuthi si lose ngaleyo ndlela.
Yeah.
Even though management ingaba khona ibe tight kanjani, ibe good kanjani, but I know for a fact ukuthi ayingeke ba change anything as long as ama player kungena chemistry between bona.
Yeah.
As long as bangazwani bona angeke bakhona ukuthi ba win. Noma ungabiza ubani ukuthi azo motivate ama player, because I was once in a team lab was motivator on each and every match.
Yeah.
But only to find out ukuthi ama player yiwangazwani. Swiye grounding isiyadliwa. To find out ukuthi okay, inking is ama player not the management.
Yeah.
So if a player won our khona ukuthatha decision because coach ukhona, it's because vele akusibo abazibekela umthetho.
Yeah.
So abantu ababeka umthetho abo coach, and if coach uthi ningama player you don't have a say.
Yeah.
You have to listen until kuze kufike isikhathi sokuthi okay maybe I change coach. But at this point I feel like ukuthi noma bangathi management, yes management, but even now ama player bane influence kulento abayenzayo ukuthi okay we are doing this right now. But masingene groundini we can't say ucoach phela uthe.
Yeah.
So I feel like inkinga yikho ku coach kuphela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot has to be done. A lot has to be done. And also when we look at because there's the budget that is being given to Abu Coach to spend over some time to get the players that they want. So since Ten Hag angena on Manchester United, he has spent 475 million euros. So it says a lot. And in this, you don't see teams like Manchester City, spending over 200 million.
Yeah.
So it speaks a lot about when you spend a lot of money, are you spending it on quality players?
Yeah.
It's a very question vele that's being asked each and every time when you're about to purchase players, when you're about to get into this transfer market and wanting to grow your team. So on YouTube, I have a comment from Refilo saying, I just learned something from Manchester United game. I learned VAR can't be trusted. I don't think that was a penalty. I mean, I can also attest to that because I was watching the game, in the last minute. We actually argued, together with my brother. Because one thing about the laws of football, if the referee has made a decision on field, that decision can't be overturned. So we saw a penalty, not a penalty, being committed in a box where we saw this guy, Jared Bowen. He came straight into Delight. When he was coming, obviously Delight was in a natural position, and all of them, they were, on a contest for the ball. And then Bowen, some kinda missed the ball, and then Wamchaisa, and then Magam Chaisa, the leg looked like he was trying to sweep away the ball, and then there was a little bit of contact there, and then they said that was a penalty, and it was on last minute. The referee made a right decision by not saying it's a penalty, but now you being called to the screens, VAR, it's not actually fair. It's not actually fair because one thing about VAR, VAR takes reality, and they do things in slow motion. In which is, if in in a full frame speed, you would see the real movements, of the players. But now with VAR, we know it kind of distorts reality. What you are supposed to see, you're not seeing it. But now, when the ball was being played, and then when they go to VAR, in slow motion, it looks like Matthew de Ligt, he was intentionally, playing. So it really says a lot about the laws of football and how things are really looking like in terms of the future of, Itiski. But that was a very huge disappointment. But we are going to be, continuing about the discussions. I see we still have more comments from our YouTube. So right now we're just going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we are going to be continuing about the discussions that we are having right here as we are going to be wrapping up with the English Premier League results and giving you the Betway Premiership results that took place last week Saturday. Right now, let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue with our conversation.
know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood, Thursdays at 11 a.m., talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time, Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m., where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Classy Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama 2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m., where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Bengeza kwaye phuhlisa ishishini lakho nathi apha eShare Online. Sebenzisa ezinkcukacha zilandelayo ukusifumana. 078 281 0681 okanye usithumelele email ku ads@shareonline.co.za.
Yo, what's good? Y'all listening to Share Radio, where we give you nice shows with a little bit of go in it, and where we promote upcoming artists, music, and more. If you want to share the experience with us or want us to promote your music, go to www.shareonline.co.za or WhatsApp us on 061 524 7758.
Welcome to Sport Spotlight, because that's where we spot the light. Guess what? It's obvious that the light was spotted by Share Online.
You are now watching the Sports Spotlight, where you get all your sports coverage, updates, and news. Get ready for more playground show with the great interviews with your sports idols. Don't forget to tune in. We are Share Online on every social media platforms. Let the games begin.
Indeed, the game has begun. Thank you so much for staying with us, and I welcome you back in the world of sports. You are now watching the Sports Light Show, where we bring you each and every update that is happening, whether it's on field and outside of the field. We've got you covered. So we also, invite you for different conversations that we can really have, in terms of what is happening on the weekend, on our sports days, which is the weekend. So we would also like to hear from you. Comment down below. We are live on YouTube and also live on Facebook. We would really like to hear some of your views, as we also have our views right here in studio. If you want to communicate with us and call us right now in studio, you can simply, text us or call us on 061 524 7758 061 524 7758. So right now I have a comment from YouTube from Tumza saying, I agree with Arto. Team unity on its own has in impact on the overall performance of the team. That's what he is meaning, that if the team is unified, obviously we're going to see different chemistry. We're going to see teams and players getting to play very good football, by obviously combining with the different tactics that they have been given by our coach. But as we were reading through the results of the English Premier League, I see I have also a comment there from Ufifi Ati Urufile saying Arsenal will come back stronger. We know that Arsenal are very good, contenders of the English Premier League. So obviously they will come back strong, as they were playing with Liverpool and playing out a 2-2 draw. You know, it was very, very, great.
Yeah.
To see that, panning out. Because people were scared in terms of seeing Arsenal in that form. So they expected more, but it happened that they played a 2-2 draw. So right now we're going to move to the DStv Premiership that took place on Saturday. So on Saturday, on Friday, Orlando Pirates played with Amazulu, winning 2-1. Can we talk about Orlando Pirates form, man? Like they're really on fire.
Eish man, like it's giving ukuthi manje abantu bahlale baphapheme man.
Yeah,
Because I feel
yeah.
like nale match yabo badlala nemagesi they took it ukuthi yazini akumelanga isinyathe man.
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
to make sure, I think basimamelile, and then they make sure ukuthi yazini so apply lento abakhuluma ngayo lapha ku spotlight. But yeah, about information abayisebenzisa, the way bayisebenzisa ngakhona information yabo right now Orlando Pirates, I see ukuthi they have a mentality yokuthi we've been trying to do good and we've been failing also, but now into kumele siyenze ukuthi kumele sibe consistent.
Yeah.
Because the way bebaza ngakhona last season, we saw ukuthi beba struggle abafana ne-Chiefs, but beba better compared to Chiefs. So this time they decided to say, you know what, let's make a change.
Yeah.
And even no coach, I feel like analyze kahle this time wabona ukuthi as in into shotayo ku Pirates lena.
Yeah,
And they made sure ukuthi siya cover those things. Yeah.
I mean, if you are a Pirates fan and you know some of the secrets that they use to, keep up with the form that they have, please do make sure that you comment down below and tell us what is it that Orlando Pirates is doing, to get all of those wins. You know, I mean, right now in the Betway Premiership, they are still unbeaten. They are still invincible. No one can really get to touch them. But it's all about the performance and the good performance that they give in the field. And these youngsters that they have, the likes of Abu Relebu Hilomokwena, so they really do play a very huge role in the team's success. And then moving on to Saturday on the 26th of October, Richards Bay was playing against Stellenbosch, in which they played a 0-0 draw. And Royal AM saw themselves knocking horns with Sikukune. Royal AM winning by 2-0. On Saturday, October 26th, we saw Marumo Gallants playing against TS Galaxy, and TS Galaxy and Marumo, they played 1-1 draw. And then on Saturday, October 26th, Chipa United playing against Golden Arrows, and Chipa winning 2-0. And then Supersport against Chiefs.
Hi.
Supersport won 1-0, man.
Hi.
I mean, I just want us to discuss that, because remember last week when Chiefs won 4-0, we asked that, are we going to see, this newly rejuvenated Kaizer Chiefs, coming again to the second round, with Pirates?
Yeah.
And with Ilona, with Supersport, are we going to see the same performance that they give? But it was totally different.
With Kaizer Chiefs name, it's like must change when it's that time ukuthi mele manje si votele for a president.
Yeah.
Those election things must ziqala ziyenza, and then let's say it happens ukuthi uRamaphosa bayamchange, then bafake someone else.
Yeah.
Lo muntu loyo makangena, we are expecting ukuthi kube ne change, so only to find out ukuthi no, there are a lot of things ebezimoshekile, so now we need to fix. Same thing as the Kaizer Chiefs, bokunama ama mistake amaningi.
Yeah.
So now they're trying by all means ukuthi ba fix it. If bokuyi Chiefs le siyazi ya last season, iSuperSport bezobe win 5-0.
Yeah.
But the way bebazitshele ngakhona ukuthi silungisile, but obviously akusiyo yonke into elungisiwe. So we need to make sure ukuthi la silungise khona kungamosheki at least abavule la vele bokuvuleke khona last season but we don't have to let them ukuthi bangene la bokuvaleke khona esesivalile already that means asenzanga next with the changes abawenzile also you can see ukuthi lama changes abawenzanga nje just for fun abaspendanga imali nje bayisebenzise ngendlela right so I-1-0 yes maybe ama fans aya complain ukuthi okay siluzile but it doesn't mean ukuthi it's the end because isazohanjwa lendlela strong mabathi lisegazini kushuthi sihamba nayo forever so the way Chiefs idlale ngakhona man it wasn't that bad it's just that nje kwenzekile ibhola lelo goal lingenile but 1-0 it doesn't mean it's over spedile ngaleyo ndlela no
Yeah, because there's also speak about you changing your tactical game. Because what we saw Kaizer Chiefs trying to play the same strategy that they played, with the culling knockout. And obviously, SuperSport have become smart, into closing those spaces that Kaizer Chiefs used on the culling knockout. So, I mean, if everything that you are coming with is being blocked, that means, you have no chances. You have no chances and you can't create, those chances. And what we saw, even if they won 4-0, we saw a failure to convert goals. A lot of chances were created, but, the goals, were not, because Chiefs could have won 6-7-0 on that game. But we saw about Ranga Chivaviro wasting opportunities. And we saw it now, the weakest when they lost to good team. If you will get a team that is stronger and with them, not converting those chances into goals, that means it's a loss for one. But hoping to hear from you, if you were watching Kaizer Chiefs game, compared to the game that they played in the culling knockout, I would really like to hear from you. What do you really think? What changed? And what is it that Kaizer Chiefs must do different when tackling games, especially, the second leg games, of the Betway Premiership. And then Sunday, we had only 2 games, Cape Town City and Moeketsi playing 0-0. And obviously, the most highlighted game was Polokwane City against Mamelodi Sundowns. And we saw a late goal there from a set piece, in which it gave Polokwane City a 1-0 win against Mamelodi Sundowns. And what was shocking to me, was that Sundowns had no goal, like shot at goal. Shot on target, the game ended at 0.
Yeah, man. I remember the last time we spoke about Duguti, Mamelodi Sundowns will be facing a lot of challenges this time because of the changes about Yenzile. Even nama player about Egila Hamba, even nama signings la about Yenzile. But I feel like, coach na I think, I went to a Twitter and I saw comments. People were saying, I think Mamelodi Sundowns is too big for Umanqoba. But Inji is too big for Umanqoba, which is it's what we see with Ashman. Even though singathama player you adlala, but as when coach, there should be something with Zamayo. Yini le urulane bekayenza wena ungakhona ukuyenza. Because the way changing a corner, it's like from 10 to 2. At least if okay from 10 until 5, then it makes sense because as people as fun, we don't use the same strategy. But the way changing a corner Mamelodi, it's like I say already. Seyisizwa ukuthi vele yona inayo leyo chemistry kuma player, but I feel like Man Sundowns iyaphansi hayi kancane futhi. Siyibona ku-0 man. Siyibona ku-0 but I don't know ukuthi uManqoba man mela yenzeni, but mela yenza ama changes from kuye not kwe team but kuye mela make sure ukuthi uanalyze wonke ama game because Polokwane City man at least if bokuyi Pirates but Polokwane City no man no.
It was bad. Talking about Umanqoba Nqiti, before we get to his words, I have a comment there on Facebook from Urefilo saying, I won't force my children to favor Orlando Pirates, but I'll give them a choice if they're a team. I'll give them a choice if they are Team Orlando Pirates or they get out of my house. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I feel like okay, you are going to be a good mother, but yeah. I mean, we know when this rivalry get into our blood. As Pirates are shy Chiefs 5 in the but that's the love of sports that bring us together. As we're speaking about the Sundowns and Mangoba Ngcithe, these were his words, after the game that they play and they encountered a loss to Polokwane City. So Mangoba said, no, first half was horrible. Let's be honest. Our first half, we were just nowhere. In the final third, we could not make any combination. We did get into the final third several times where maybe a better decision from Tashrik Matthew, a better decision from Ihram Reyners, those moments when you don't translate them into chances, which is almost the same thing that happened in midweek. One day, it was just not to be, and we must congratulate the opponents. They fought, they were strong, and we always knew their strength in set pieces, which is why we try to load ourselves with aerially strong players to be able to deal with that. But I think we caught up in a game where not many things were going right for us. We had almost all our best players on the day, but unfortunately the result was not to be. We knew it was not going to be easy. We never took it for granted because we know they are a team. They are a team that always give us a lot of trouble, but unfortunately on the day, it was just not to be, because is it really Uguti Tembazwani is, like Ukawati team with the injury that is happening? Like the absence of Tembazwani, is it making Mamelodi Sundowns to perform like it is performing today?
Well, before Pendula that question, I want to say ukuthi with Urulani bekakwazi ukusebenza without Uzwani.
Yeah.
To be honest, bekakwazi ukusebenza without Uzwani. Now, what's the difference with Umanqoba? Because I feel like anyone as maybe like umuntu othanda ibhola because abakhona ngeke bakenza ucoach ungasi anything oyaziyo ngesoccer. But I feel like with the Sundowns there was no job to do there. It was you to just be there for a player, implement whoever, allow implement a corner. But I feel like umsebenzi obulapha bo simple. Unlike good Chiefs, the changes about Enzile, like they did changes drastically, and they made sure ukuthi lento si change hayo siyayenza iba right. But with the Sundowns, I was not expecting ukuthi iyehle just because ba change coach, not even a player, but to coach. So I feel like ukuthi I don't know, man. I don't know, but with Uzwana ayeku injury and manje sekahleli ubukela team yadliwa. I don't know la khona ufila kanjani. But definitely enhlizweni yakhe uyasho ukuthi mina yamkhumbula nje uRulani straight because if sizo change coach and then team change and then kuphuma engineer team and then chuthi there's nothing to do.
There's nothing to
chuthi mele nje maybe postpone ama-match wabo until abuye egamini and then qhubekwe. But the way kungakhona, I feel like i-Sundowns nje kwenye danger zone nje straight.
They are in danger, man, because now you are giving us an impression Noguti, when you do not have these kind of players, you do not perform the way you need to perform. I mean, it's poor, man.
Yeah.
At least Moeketsi half time with one shot on target, but not having any. That is very poor. That is very poor. But we are going to, let that slide and look for the next game and see Uguti, how do they really get to perform so that we can confirm Uguti, it is the absence of some players that is making their performance to be, done. I have Ulunga Kwabi on Facebook or Kazi Son Music ati hola football lovers. Kosi for life. Well done to Orlando Pirates. I will start by saying good luck, Kosi Nation. If you notice, Sundowns lost 1-0 to Polokwane City. We lost to SuperSport United 1-0. And we're playing with Masandawa on a Saturday. I see a win for us with big score, mark my words. And next week, we will talk about it. Unfortunately, it's said for Castillo, we will see him next year. Thank you so much, Kazi, for your comment, man. It's clear we are glad to see you here with us, and hoping to hear a lot from your side. And speaking about Castillo, guys, is out for 4 to 5 months. He suffered what they call a fractured fibula. So a nasty tackle was made against SuperSport on Saturday, and that made him to be out. He is out. I mean, we believe Guti next 4 to 5 months. It is almost the rest of the season. But hoping all recovery to Castillo, as Kaizer Chiefs is going to be playing with Mamelodi Sundowns this upcoming week. And as Ukazi also ati, Chiefs is going to win with a big score. So what is that big score? Tell me what is the big score? 10-0, 12-0, 5-0, 4-0. I want to hear from you right there. Right now, let us take a short break. And then when we come back, we are going to, continue with the discussions right here on a Sports Light Show. Do make sure that you follow us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online. If you want to call us in or send a voice note, the number to call is 061-524-7758. 061-524-7758.
You want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news, and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Kasi Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music, and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young, and free with Ama2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more on Share Radio, the place to be.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Welcome to Sports Spotlight, because that's where we spot the light. Guess what? It's obvious that the light was spotted by Share Online.
You are now watching the Sports Spotlight, where you get all your sports coverage, updates, and news. Get ready for more Playground Show with the great interviews with your sports idols. Don't forget to tune in. We are Share Online on every social media platforms. Let the games begin.
On my YouTube, I have a comment from Tumza6. What's going on with Mamelodi Sundowns now? This league has to belong to Mamelodi Sundowns. What? What do you mean this league belongs to Mamelodi Sundowns? Are you seeing the, what do you call, the sea robbers? Like Sundowns is losing to Polokwane City in Dota. Like what are you expecting in Dota? The sea robbers are here. They're coming to rob everything that you have, bruh. You will say Aish. It's been a long time you're saying Aish. So this league has to belong. Come on, man. Come on. Things are changing, bruh. We are seeing change. We are seeing change, whether we like it or not. Change, it is coming, guys. And this season,
they change le man. Because now kube ngathi kwabona manje sim swap ukuthi change from MTN to Vodacom So live really about obvious. Change Pirates, change Chiefs, go Sundowns.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
something else, man.
Yeah, man, it is something else, and it's giving a shock, to people because there's this thing of getting used to one team winning over and over. Like we can't just be it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious. No, man, change needs to happen. Like a lot of people want to see Sundowns going down. A lot of people, Saturday, Chiefs is winning 5-0 against Sundowns, man.
Hey.
They've been humiliated for such a long time. So it is that time for them to also reign. So another comment from Refilo saying, Ato, please don't forget to give Moeketsi a hug because this was just a start for Case. Next thing there will be number 11. Wow. You guys are throwing shades here. No, guys, it's just a t-shirt. It's not like I make. We wear t-shirt. That's Nike, Papa Faith. So, man, let's go keeper, and see when's Zagalani. As for deserving a hug, wow. But I would appreciate one, though, and also, moving on. Speaking of Kaizer Chiefs, man, they're set to replace their new star. I think, do you have that article on you so that we can go through it?
Oh, yeah. So it reads as follows. Kaizer Chiefs will be in Polokwane for the third consecutive match, this time to face Moeketsi FC in the Betway Premiership. And then, as confirmed by the Premier Soccer League via email to the South African, the 28-year-old Angolan central defender Inácio Miguel will be suspended when Kaizer Chiefs face Moeketsi at the Peter Mokaba Stadium on Wednesday at 7:30. Miguel, who is one of coach Nasreddin Nabi's captains, received his fourth yellow during last weekend's 1-0 loss to SuperSport United.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody will read that thing, you go to, hey, Kaizer Chiefs to replace new star. It's something that is so shocking and you really want to know. But we know that in football, when you get more than 3 yellow cards, they actually convert them into a suspension. You can't be getting as many yellow cards. But coach obviously will be looking at making sure that he finds a proper, replacement for who's this guy? Inácio Miguel. Obviously there has to be a replacement, as we know that he is the captainship of the team. So obviously we know that it's going to be difficult. We know Kaizer Chiefs has a lot of what you call the central defense. We have Abo given Msimango. We don't know what's the story about Tato Yaone Diklokwe, who was signed from SuperSport. So when they were signed, a lot of things were happening because Unas Redin was not part of Kaizer Chiefs. So obviously you have to use what you have been given. But now, as if we appoint a new coach and he doesn't, really get to see the future of the players on the team, it's not his problem. It's not his problem. So the captain will be missed against Moeketsi. Or he was suspended when they faced Moeketsi, so he will not be available for the next upcoming game. So when we playing with Sundowns, he will not be present. So obviously we have to, Nasreddin has to come up with a plan that will make sure that they stop Sundowns, attack.
Yeah.
And then on the other news, Kaizer Chiefs, they regret on letting Ditejani go. Kaizer Chiefs are believed to be looking at bringing a player back that they had previously let go after a controversial ball boy incident over a year ago. Puso Ditejane was one of the players who didn't want to be a ball boy at Naturena and was eventually sold to ETS Galaxy. So the sources indicate that Amakosi regret Ditejani and they want him back. In the past, Chiefs had re-signed former players who once left the club, such as Pelele Mthembu, Zita Kwinika, Mduduzi Mdantsane. Now they are looking at bringing another youth development product back to the club. And they have added also that the recruiters and scouts at the club have recommended that the club looks into the Galaxy player. Insiders discussed how Ditejani's name has been mentioned in the corridors of Naturena and the main intention of bringing him back. There have been talks at the club and there were different views from different people at different clubs about letting Puso go, and now they're looking at what happened as a mistake and they would want to have him back at the club. I mean, this thing of bringing players back while you are not giving the full performance. I mean, I'm a player, but you haven't got into that gel, the gel that you need to be at in terms of the chemistry that needs to be built on the team. So everybody is being brought back from the youth, development, I mean, it's such something that is so confusing to fans, that why would you regret, letting go somebody while you can use what you have?
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs has signed a lot of players.
Yeah.
So they have to look into that and make sure, Uguti, as much as you guys are regretting those kind of, signings that you make, it is make sure that we use them properly. Okay. Still have some comments there on Facebook. I have Ulunga Kwabe at prediction today and Saturday. Chiefs 4, Moeketsi 0. And on Saturday, Chiefs 3, Sundowns 0.
What this one near my case? My case man. Hey. Like seeing it team it again and twin, and then all of a sudden ya kupuga, ya elevator phela man, and then bese sibone draw na team ishama team amakhulu 3-1.
Yeah.
So it Chiefs man. Ay. But to people who are believing good Chiefs ukuthi ayizowina, I also believe ukuthi izowina. And there's another comment that I reveal la athi the predictions it's the prediction Chiefs is in 1, Moeketsi 3. Hey, nami ngiboniza le Sundowns 6, Chiefs 0. Never. Chiefs ingcono idliwe kuMoeketsi than Sundowns. Angivumi. Angivumi. But with iMoeketsi man, ayizange ingene ngokuthi man siceda kufika, so kumele si relax. And then siyazi ngeke basikhiphe manje. But ingene yayenza umsebenzi. I-team already ku number 1 bona bafike bashaya yona. And then now people are recognizing iMoeketsi because of how they play. So Sundowns I deserve 6 years with Sundowns, not the Chiefs, man. No.
Hey, yo, guys, your prediction are so, sportified, man. They're so sportified. And they say, Sundowns is going to score 6 goals against Kaizer Chiefs. And then we have Oradzilan saying the prediction is Chiefs 2, Moeketsi 1. And the Sundowns 2 and the Chiefs 3. Yo, like I really need to save, I'm a prediction win, guys. I really need to write them down, so that whenever I come back, I will call you one by one. Uguti, hey, remember, Mrs. 6-0, Mrs. 4-0. I mean, it's what you guys are literally, saying. Okay, this is how the prediction are going to be looking like when game idlala. Because I think one thing that I love about, when people are predicting, they are predicting based on what they're seeing. So it's like the performance that my team is giving right now is definitely going to hand us this, kind of result. So if I feel like Soisha is down 6-0, okay, let it be, man. So Basha 6, and then we'll see on the game. That's what is nice about the sport of football. Based on how they have played, we are going to see this coming out. But how do you see this game, Chiefs and Sundowns, man, panning out, man?
The last time when ngibukele that match, ne, people were not impressed or by ukuthi score first goal qala,
Yeah.
and then kwayenzeka ezinye izinto manje, and then also iSundowns yona vele be expect win, but beyithukile ngendlela the way Chiefs beyidlala ngakhona. Also nama fans we Chiefs, the way beba happy ngakhona ngathi beswinile kanti nix. It's just the performance. So I feel like even now we are expecting a performance better than lesibone last time, but also izanani ne win.
Yeah.
Not knowing your score, but I performance yinto ezokhuluma ukuthi no, iSundowns noma kanjani izo ekugcineni.
Yeah.
As long as the Chiefs izo sustain a performance yabo but the way badlala ngakhona. Because this Saturday I feel like njengoba iMagesi izodlala ne Chiefs, that's when the Chiefs izobheka the way bazodlala ngakhona. I mean Saturday Chiefs idlala ne Sundowns, today iMagesi. iMagesi the way izobidlala ngakhona, Chiefs imele ibheke kuleyo match leyo ukuthi okay, right now silekha kuphi na kuphi, prepare for Saturday. So I don't know, but Chiefs mara nyaza ngeke ngidisappoint. They're right.
Yeah, we actually going to see how the games will pan out. And thank you so much for keeping those prediction coming, guys. And I can't wait, to even break down them with you next week, Wednesday, when we come back and say, you know what, man, your predictions were right.
Yeah.
I think we should actually, also run a competition. Whoever gets the right prediction, you're going to get a little bit of a surprise from us. You know what, man? You really nailed your prediction. I mean, that's why we want about Betway to come here so that the seasons is better, guys. So that we can win this money. It is very, very important. So that we can, be part of this game. So when we started, I mentioned on the headlines, Ukuti, we are going to be speaking about the Ballon d'Ors, and then Rich was like, you know what, hey, me, I'm here for the Ballon d'Ors. Nyabona Utulile is not even commenting about anything. I was Meleli Ballon d'Or and Uguti. What was happening? And I just want to show you some, beautiful pictures from the Ballon d'Or, the different kinds of winners that we got. So a little bit as I want to share with you these images. So I hope you guys are going to see them well as I am announcing right here on my screen. So before I start, let me do this. And then let's see who do we begin with. Obviously, we're going to be starting with the one they started with. So I just want to do this quickly, enlarge, and then do this. Okay. Yeah, I think we are all set. So if you can see my screen right now, I don't know if, my technical guy can see the whole screen or is zivalegile. I want to confirm. Can you see the whole screen, man? Can you see? So I think I have to zoom out. How's that? Yeah, I think we can see, guys. So on Monday, we saw the Ballon d'Or ceremony happening in France. And obviously there was some... what you call the boycotts that are happening, but we're going to get deep into that. So the Women's Club of the Year was given to, the women of Barcelona, based on the stats and the performance that they have been given. If you are a woman right now, please do make sure, man, that you watch this kind of football that these women are playing, because you would be shocked. You would swear that these women are men the way they are playing. So Women's Club of the Year was given to Barcelona. And moving to the next one, the Club of the Year, Men's Club of the Year was given to Real Madrid. We saw Real Madrid conquering the whole of Europe with their performances by winning the Champions League, by winning the La Liga, and also by winning the FIFA Club World Cup. So they became the Men's Club of the Year as the reigning champions of Europe. And then Women's Ballon d'Or, Women's Coach of the Year went to Emma Hayes. She's the one who won the Women's Coach of the Year. And then moving on to the Men's Coach of the Year, it was taken by Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid coach. Women's Ballon d'Or winner was taken by Aitana Bonmati, who plays for FC Barcelona. She gave a very good performance, and when you look at her stats, they really show that she really deserve this kind of accolade. And lastly but not least, we saw Rodri walking away with the Ballon d'Or. You know, I mean, people are. This is giving a little bit of controversial comments, you know, on. You know, where is Rodri coming from? You know, but people did not see the performance that Rodri gets. You know, in which is something that I want to look at. I think I have some of the stats that explain why Rodri won the Ballon d'Or. And the Ballon d'Or Copa Trophy, which is the youngest player, was won by Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal went away with the Copa Trophy winner of Ballon d'Or. So those were the results, and we saw them walking on the red carpet. So now, obviously, when we get deeper into that, you know, they say Ballon d'Or 2024, Man City's boss, you know, he was aiming to do some of the things. So when it comes to Madrid, missing Ballon d'Or awards, as Rodri won. So the reports from Spain indicated that Vinicius Jr. and the Real Madrid camp abstained from attending after leaning he would not receive the prestigious prize. So it was said that AMA results were leaked, you know, and as the results were leaked, they saw good how. What is the point of Vini going there? You know, if you know. He won't get the prestigious prize. But those are the one that, you know, that were fabricated by people. But the real results shown that Uvini was leading with, you know, so many points from ahead of Rodri. You know, but there were some things that claimed Uguti Vini can't win. You know, and after that, they found out Coach Carlo Ancelotti was like, you know what, just because Vini is not winning, we are not going to know the Ballon d'Or. So they say Real Madrid players and Carlo Ancelotti are boycotting the Ballon d'Or ceremony tonight because they believe Vinicius Jr. is not winning the award. So these were the reports from Sky Sports. So right now, I just want us to listen to the audio on what they had to say. So right now, I'm just going to play, you know, the audio. You know, I'm not going to show the video due to the copyright issues. So I'm just going to play the audio so that we can all listen to what was being said, you know, about Vini and the Real Madrid staff not attending the Ballon d'Or, right? So let me do this, and I hope you guys would be able to hear. Okay, let's do this.
Tonight, where the now some breaking news. We mentioned earlier, didn't we, that the Ballon d'Or is happening tonight, where the world's best football stars are celebrated in Paris. We won't see any Real Madrid players there, though. It seems that they are staging a boycott, so we won't see the likes of Vinny Jr., who's up for one of the main awards. We won't see their coach, Ancelotti. We won't see Jude Bellingham. And that's because they believe that Vinny Jr. won't win that main award, and instead it would go to Manchester City's Rodri. Now, in response to Real Madrid's boycott, the organisers insisted that no player or club knew in advance who has won the award. All the clubs and players are in the same boat, and that's come from a Ballon d'Or source talking to AFP.
Yeah, we've also heard from Rodri. He's been on the red carpet. He's there in crutches. We know he's got this season-ending ACL injury, but he's limped his way in. Now widely expected to pick up this award, given what's happened. But he's had this to say. Well, I'm feeling good. It's the first month of my recovery. The worst has passed. There's a long way to go, but I'm happy to be here. So no mention on the fact that he is perhaps now the favourite to become the first ever defensive midfielder to pick up the men's award.
You know, it sparks a lot of debate on what happened. But now, with me, they're showing how Rodri beat Vinicius Jr. to win the Ballon d'Or. Rodri scooped the 2024 Ballon d'Or ahead of Vinicius Jr. Man City defender enjoyed a remarkable 2023-2024 season. Success with Spain helped the 28-year-old claim the victory. So he was named, the Spaniard was named the 2024 victor after beating the likes of Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, and controversially Vinicius Jr. to the prize, becoming the first Premier League player to claim the accolade since Cristiano Ronaldo in 2008. The award has long been dominated by the Portuguese and his rival Lionel Messi, with the pair having won 13 awards between them in the past 16 years, but neither were nominated for this year's trophy. And for the first time in over 2 decades, Rodri's first victory may have offended Madristas across the globe following Vinicius' snap. But the midfielder is a worthy winner, rewarded for an exceptional 2023 campaign for a club in a country littered with the clutch and performances silverware. So they say here is how Rodri beat Vinicius to be named as world's best. When it comes to international success, the Ballon d'Or is often influenced by international success, a factor which heavily contributed to Rodri Man City's team mate Erling Haaland losing out to World Cup winner Lionel Messi in 2023. But within a year where there was the European Championship and the Copa America, international glory was always going to influence minds ahead of the Ballon d'Or. For Vinicius, Copa America success never arrived. The Brazilian scored twice during the tournament, but his nation's quarterfinal exit at the hands of Uruguay dented the Champions League winners' odds of claiming the most prestigious individual prize on the market. So they look at the international most of the time because Guti, with Messi, when he won the World Cup, it was chai.
Yeah.
We saw Guti, okay, this is going to Messi. But now, the main point is the need for change. They say midfielders are often overlooked for the Ballon d'Or. The award tends to favor the glamour of the forward line, with only a handful engine room residents having been victorious. Most recently, Luka Modric in 2018. However, even fewer had been defensive midfielders. Some would argue that no deep-lying midfielder has ever won the award. Although Lothar Matthäus and Matthias Sommer could both lay claim to being number 6s. Defining the exit position of players as eras and styles change is difficult. Regardless of risk, stock of enforcers in the modern game must be celebrated. There may be a better opportunity to award a defensive midfielder with the Ballon d'Or again, and it's a position that has often been ignored by the Prize's decision previously. So we know that every time when you grew up seeing Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo winning the Ballon d'Or, but now we are seeing about Rodri, because the need for the change, as much as it has been won by a midfielder. We saw Luka Modric on 2018, winning it. But now Real Madrid boycotted because they saw Uguti Uvin is not going to win, and Rodri is a midfielder. Do you think Uguti they're trying to change, or it was just to spite Vini Jr. as he thought he is going to win the Ballon d'Or?
Well, I think they are trying to change in terms of njengoba khulunywa ngendaba yokuthi midfielders are not being recognized. So I think really they are trying to change, because in most cases we know to Cristiano and Messi yibo bebathola ama-Ballon d'Ors bheke bona all the time. Because labantu laba badlala ama-attacking. They don't play ku-middle badlala emuva, and which is emidlelini, that's where we find it difficulty, and that's where we find engineer team. That's where we find izinto eziright ukuthi okay, in order for ukuthi ama-pass aphume aye forward aphuma from a middle but aqala from a move. So I feel like vele they were giving prices abantu abaphambili. So I think now they're trying to change that thing yokuthi now we should recognize abantu abasemiddlelini.
Yeah.
Also going a mover. Because I mean we have defenders asebenzayo. We had Abo Ramos back in the days basebenza strong. But bebanga recognize they were only getting those prices amancane but Ballon d'Or nix.
Yeah.
Bewaya ku Messi no Ronaldo. Yes, they were competing but it's also important for abanye abantu abakhona kwefield abadlala emiddlelini nasemuva ba recognize.
Yeah.
This thing yokuthi sibheke abantu abaphambili kuphela, because not to say maybe vele bebabheke bona abaphambili, but obviously it's easy to spot abantu abaphambili than abasemiddlelini.
Yeah.
Because if you could check kahle emiddlelini, that's where competition ikhona. Masingathi asithini Ballon d'Or we focus kwabantu abasemiddlelini. Trust me, it's going to be difficult to spot umuntu perfect rather than umuntu phambili. Also nasemuva, but nje I think they are trying to change.
Yeah. I mean, yes, as by Bega Veluguti, the need, for change. I mean, you've said it all, man. You've said it all. So, okay, Rodri walked away with it, which he performed very well, man. I mean, Rodri is firm, in his position. We saw him, man, battling it out with, the players that we trust to go to, hey, man, these guys can give it their all. With his injury now in Kawata, we hope to see him back into the field and defending his Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
But lastly, we had, our own representing us, which is a very huge achievement, man. Ronwen Williams making it to the top 10, of the nominees, which is called the Yashin Trophy Ballon d'Or Award. He had made history by finishing among the top 10 goalkeepers in the world. I wish you guys have seen the picture. When I saw the awards, when they were called, as the nominees, they were called one of the best players in the planet. So Willian was part of those people.
Okay.
Willian stood in the stage where best players were standing, even if not taking the trophy.
Yeah.
But that itself was a very, very, very huge, achievement to him. So a very big shout out to Willian, man, for that. And we hope that the best is coming for him, and that nomination, has had him, the world speaking about him. Who is this guy? During the prestigious event held at Paris Monday night, it was announced that the Yashin Trophy was won by Aston Villa and Argentina goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez, with the William positioned 9th in the final voting. 9th in the world. Bruh, we have a lot of goalkeepers out there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of goalkeepers out there, but William managed to snag up number 9, in which we are going to say congratulations. As a Spotlight, we see you, and we wish to come to sit here with him and speak about the experience he has had at the Ballon d'Or. But other than that, thank you so much, guys, for staying with us right here in the Spotlight show. Any last words, man?
My last words ukuthi like for kahle ngitshela Chiefs, yazi Chiefs man young stress. Noma kungabheda kanjani, just make sure ukuthi at least inibeka ambalwa bafethu, sazi ukuthi sibuya na something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I go by the name of Play the producer right here on Spotlight Show and go Show Online.
Yeah, indeed. We will see you next week. Do make sure to catch up your favorite games that are playing. We have Chiefs playing against the Moeketsi. Do make sure that you watch the game. And Saturday also we have games from the Premier League, from La Liga, and also the Betway Premiership. Do make sure that you stay in your house. You get snacks and enjoy the sport that is being given to you. As we are going to come back next week to actually discuss some of the games that we have So thank you so much for staying with us. As Spotlight, we say we're going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here on Share Online.
know you want to join the Creative Corner every Tuesday, where we vibe with the coolest creators.
But nah, you are too busy catching up on Umkosi, celebrity news and the headliners on the Trusted Talk Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Embrace your feminine side with the ladies of Sisterhood Thursdays at 11 a.m. talking about everything women go through.
Join Amachita, Amahrotmane, the broskies of Sotra, fixing the country, one topic at a time. Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Get ready to spice up your sex life on the 8th hour every Thursday at 8 p.m. where we get down and dirty with the hottest topics. It's all things sex.
Start the weekend early with the feel-good vibes of Classy Lifestyle Show Fridays at 2 p.m. Put on your dancing shoes, feel the music and connect with the best artist Mzansi has to offer.
And if you're still not satisfied, you can learn a thing or two about living wild, young and free with Ama 2K Saturdays at 11 a.m.
And for all you bookworms, relax your Saturday with On Writing at 2 p.m. where you can learn from the best writers and storytellers.
All this and more.